I'm sure you've heard the news. Now I know what you're thinking. Another video about US-China tensions? That's about as original as a panda eating bamboo in a zoo. And you know what? You're not wrong. It feels like every other day there's a new headline about spy balloons, trade wars, or warships playing chicken in the Pacific. But here's the thing. This isn't just another news cycle. This rivalry, this slow-motion collision of superpowers, is shaping the entire world we live in. So, buckle up. Because today, we're diving headfirst into the messy, complicated, and frankly terrifying state of US-China relations. Alright, let's start with the issue that's about as sensitive as a porcupine wearing a sweater made of fiberglass. Taiwan. This small island has been a focal point of tension for decades, and the stakes just keep getting higher. Now, for those of you who haven't been following along with this decades-long geopolitical thriller, China claims Taiwan as part of its territory. They have been quite vocal and assertive about this claim. They see it as a breakaway province that needs to be brought back into the fold, preferably with hugs and handshakes, but with the implied threat of, a whole lot of firepower if necessary. This isn't just rhetoric, it's a serious stance backed by a formidable military presence. The US, on the other hand, has this slightly awkward policy of strategic ambiguity. It's a diplomatic dance that leaves everyone guessing. It's like saying, we're not technically saying we'll defend Taiwan, but we're also definitely implying it. This keeps both allies and adversaries on their toes. So when some US officials decided to visit Taiwan recently, followed by, a fresh shipment of American weaponry, China wasn't exactly thrilled. This move was seen as a direct challenge to their authority. They responded with the diplomatic equivalent of a toddler throwing a tantrum in the cereal aisle. Large-scale military exercises surrounding Taiwan. These exercises were not just for show. They were a clear message. Because nothing says calm and reasonable discussion like fighter jets buzzing around and warships playing a tense game of maritime bumper cars. The situation remains precarious, with both sides showing no signs of backing down. Remember that whole spy balloon saga from earlier this year? It was all over the news and social media, causing quite a stir. The one where a giant, very obvious Chinese balloon decided to take a leisurely float across the continental United States, snapping photos, and generally freaking everyone out. People were glued to their screens, tracking its every move. Yeah, well, it seems like someone in Beijing forgot to renew their balloon surveillance 101 subscription because it happened again. You'd think they would have learned their lesson by now. Just last month, another mysterious balloon, and I cannot stress this enough, another one, was spotted drifting through US airspace. It was like déjà vu all over again. And just like last time, the US promptly shot it down. The response was swift and decisive, leaving no room for ambiguity. Now, China claims it was just an innocent weather balloon that got a little lost. Kind of like that friend who always shows up late with a flimsy excuse. But this excuse is wearing thin. But let's be honest, it's hard to maintain a poker face when you're caught holding a giant magnifying glass and a pair of binoculars. The whole situation feels almost comical. This whole incident just highlights the deepening mistrust between the two countries. The diplomatic tension is palpable and growing. It's like they're stuck in a relationship where they keep finding passive-aggressive post-it notes on the fridge, except the post-it notes are giant surveillance balloons. The stakes are much higher and the trust is much lower. The Cold War sequel is here. With high-tech baggage, the battlefield is now microchips and algorithms. In 2025, the US restricted advanced tech exports to China. High-performance AI chips power everything from cars to weapons. Quantum computing is mind-bogglingly complex. The US wants to secure this technology. China is investing billions to become tech self-sufficient. It's a global game of technological rivalry. The US threatened to ban TikTok over data privacy. This is a full-blown digital showdown. Remember those trade war headlines from 2019? Well, they're back. The US is slapping tariffs on Chinese goods, reaching 145%. Washington claims China's breaking trade rules. China denies it and retaliates with their own tariffs. Experts warn this could disrupt global supply chains. Now, Before you start digging a bunker in your backyard and stocking up on canned goods, it's not all doom and gloom. There are still glimmers of hope and moments of optimism. Both sides still occasionally remember that they have phones and can, talk to each other. Communication lines are not completely severed. Just recently, China's foreign minister popped over to Washington for a visit. And while everyone was careful to describe the talks as constructive, let's just say there weren't exactly any doves of peace spontaneously materializing over the White House. The problem is, while they're willing to chat, the trust just isn't there. It's a fragile and cautious engagement. It's like that couple that stays together for the kids even though they've been secretly sleeping in separate bedrooms for years. China's been busy cozying up to Russia and strengthening ties with countries in the Middle East, while the US still sees China as its biggest strategic rival. So yeah, they're talking. But it's the kind of strained, passive-aggressive conversation you have with your siblings at a family reunion. Everyone is polite, but the underlying tension is palpable. So, the trillion-dollar question is, where does this all end? Will we see a full-blown war between the world's two biggest superpowers? Probably not. Both sides know a nuclear conflict is a lose-lose situation. But this rivalry? It's not going away soon. The economic and technological battles will intensify. And then there's Taiwan, a geopolitical hotspot. Any miscalculation could spark a conflict. For now, it's controlled competition. Their economies are so intertwined, they're practically joined at the hip. So, there you have it. A whirlwind tour of the most important and frankly terrifying geopolitical rivalry on the planet. The US and China are locked in a complex dance, a delicate balance between cooperation and competition. And the stakes couldn't be higher. This isn't just about two countries squabbling. It's about the future of the global order, the rules that will govern trade, technology and security for decades to come. What do you think? Will they find a way to coexist peacefully? Or are we heading for a future where the world is split between two competing superpowers? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Because frankly, I'm too stressed out to come up with any more witty conclusions. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into geopolitical anxiety, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one. Take care.